Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and some more Hail Caesar faction reviews as we make our way through the timeline. So today we're taking a trip to the far east here, Liao China and the Kara Khitan Khaganate. So things to look up: Khitan Empire, Liao Dynasty, and some of the other things that are mentioned here. But let's take a look at the list. Not an overly long one, but there's definitely some different things going on here. So this is a cavalry list, as you can clearly see. 50% of the force has to be cavalry. Of that, cataphracts have to be 25% of the cavalry itself. So the way they put it here, quarter of the cavalry in the army just has to be cataphracts entirely. You could potentially go all cataphract if you want, but let's take a look here. So there's actually no requirement whatsoever to take infantry. You may still want to, just for some balance on a couple things, and especially if you don't want to necessarily purchase and collect just an entire cavalry force, but you have that option here. Now, the medium infantry is actually not terrible in this. In fact, they're pretty solid. So you have your basic profile first, so just your bog standard infantry, swords and or spears, 23 points a pop. We could take a discount, make them levy for 20 points, but then we have some neat upgrade possibilities here. So non-levy medium infantry can be drilled for 3 points, so it's taken up to 26. It's always nice to have that. We could then also give them long spears instead of just spears. Does change the short range shooting, but another plus 3 points for that, so long spears. And then finally, if we wanted to, instead of going the spear route, though, give drilled infantry double-handed swords instead of spears. So just one unit gets that. Does bump that clash to 7, which is pretty spicy, but again, just the one unit, but it is also just a 1-point upgrade on top of drilled. So worth taking for sure. We do have some solid missile troops here as well, and in addition to what the cavalry brings for long-range shooting, this is, again, overall pretty solid. Medium infantry with crossbows, and again, we could pay a discount to get them to levy, but then we could also make them drilled as well. We usually don't see too much in the way of this type of special rule for the missile troops. It's usually things like Parthian shot and stuff like that on cavalry, but here we actually have drilled range units, so 3 short and long, so that's always great. Skirmishers, just a basic minimal package that we get here versus the standard several units that we see in most armies. But here, armed with bows or crossbows, which count as bows, fielded as small units, so no special rules here, but again, we do get some long-range skirmishing ability as well. But then onto the cavalry, which is kind of the more bread and butter of the list. So cataphracts with spears and bows, so again, we have another awesome unit that can accomplish multiple things and actually do some ranged shooting as well, as they're maybe getting into position to charge. 33 points for that. Without any restrictions, we can pay another 3 points to make them elite. So you could have just an all-elite cavalry force, really, if you wanted, backed up by some solid infantry as well. So, then, if we wanted to, we could spend some more points. Now we're getting to 39, which is super expensive, but elite and drilled is a, well, pretty nasty combination. And then one unit above or amongst all those can also be tough for another point. So that 140-point unit is just going to be absolutely dominant. So elite, drilled, and tough fighters, that unit should get into the best combination of, or best situation for charges, things like that, and ideally should just dominate and punch a hole through the enemy line. So you have a very potent cavalry arm here just in the first unit with the cataphracts. But if you don't want to invest that many points, you still have the option for heavy cavalry with spears and or javelins and bows. So again, the cavalry is doing everything here, or can do everything, still has plenty of ranged ability. And that's only 32 points, and if you wanted to upgrade to drilled, you still have that actually even on the sort of tier 2 cavalry option here. So for 35 points, just tons of drilled heavy cavalry is not a terrible way to go. And then light cavalry is also great here. With javelins, bows, small units. So again, more missile options. Feigned flight, of course, we love seeing that. And horse archers as small units as well. And here you get Parthian shot, so you kind of have the cream of the crop on the light small units here, being more harassing and shooting as well. And then finally, they sneak in an artillery unit here. You might as well just take it since you just get the one unit anyway. But light artillery, bolt or stone thrower, one unit. 15 points apiece for that. And then finally the commanders here, solid 8 to round everything out. So just an awesome list that you can really do some like shock and awe things with, especially with just the potent cavalry. You might even just, put all your cataphract units on one flank, load up that, and just punch a hole through their entire flank, get around and just dominate, and just kind of use cheaper units, infantry, stuff like that, missile units, just to hold them in place. Again, all your shooting units, which includes a lot of the cavalry, should just be there to put some damage on the opponents, load them up with a wound or two, and then once you get these big charges off, really that's just finish them off and start breaking units wholesale. So overall, a pretty potent list to field, especially for this time period. Let us know, guys, if you have built a Liao China list and how you've gone about that. Again, keep in mind half the force does have to be cavalry, and certainly at least a part of that is the cataphracts, but really you can't go wrong with them. So let us know in the comments, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll have more Hail Caesar for you soon.